is Khoa from Team Global Trade Plus, and today our team is going to present about for the Vietnam challenges, opportunities as Vietnam being a low-cost country. So what we will discuss here today is about briefly of trade history, interview brief, case analysis and recommendation. Moving into a trade history, we will discuss briefly about how it is going to impact on Vietnam port and Vietnam economy. So from 1986, Vietnam implemented a new policy called Đổi Mới, in which that they're moving their economy market structure from centrally planned into a free market economy. This helped Vietnam experience a surging in their export rate in terms of manufacturing product and agriculture products. So combined with the characteristic of having low labor costs and low manufacturing costs, this become a market incentive for foreign investor and foreign business conducting business in Vietnam. This helped Vietnam to increase their economic development and increase their livelihood. However, as Vietnam technology, human capital and infrastructure are outmatched by foreign investors, it will become major challenges. Taking a look at the table of minimum wage, we can see that Vietnam is among the lowest country at third place, only above India and Indonesia. So in the long run, with a lot of foreign investors doing business in Vietnam, the only one that will having a lot of challenges is though the worker. We will create a long run disadvantage in terms of economic development. So now Thanh will discuss about our finding in issue in academic research and interview.
So my name is Thanh, and we are moving to the case description part. In this part, I'm going to present about issue via interview findings and issue via academic research. About issue identification, we have gone through many articles and we decided to choose two main articles to support our analysis. And we have found out three main issues which are related to our analysis. The first one is logistic infrastructure. The second is connection between logistic components. And the third one is institutional frameworks. So there were two interviewees invited to our discussion. The first one is Mr. Tuấn and the second one is Mr. Việt Anh. And they all highlight two main issues which are logistic infrastructure and urban planning. I'm going to present about logistic infrastructure and he is going to present about urban planning. So we all know that advanced technology and facility has a great impact on the service innovation and productivity of the firm in the industry. However, communication technology and automatic equipment are not well developed in Vietnam seaports. Furthermore, Vietnam ports are not widely connected among the regions and the amount of cargo transport to Vietnam is still limited. Based on the reference, Vietnam container ports only have about 12 million TEUs in 2017 compared to more than 24 million in Malaysia, which is in the same region. So in the next part, he is going to present about the urban planning problem.
My name is Nghi and I will talk about urban planning. Urban planning is the most important factor that can help the logistics industry in Vietnam reach further. Even though Vietnam has enacted urban planning for years, the logistics industry in Vietnam is still considered to be weak and function insufficiently. This is due to the poor administrative system, inappropriate investment in port planning, and last but not least, the bottleneck in roads. The first issue I'm going to talk about is roads around ports. The road infrastructure in Vietnam is lack of connectivity between ports and central productions. Moreover, they are also in poor condition and narrow, so make it more difficult for container truck to transport the goods. The final issue is internal competition. In the same area, there are many ports that are operating and they are all invested by different investors. So as a result, they are competing with each other rather than focusing on developing technology and raising physical and human capital to compete with foreign competitors. To conclude, if the facility and the technology do not develop to advanced level and the urban planning is still not function effectively, this will make Vietnam miss the opportunity of foreign investment. So next, Quang will talk about the case analysis.
Hi, my name is Quang. As you can see, the strength. Vietnam as a low-skill and low-cost labor-abundant country. It acts as a continual port of call for multiple international shipping companies such as Hanjin Shipping, Maersk Line to receive mega vessels. By that, increasing the Vietnamese opportunity towards an international standard shipping process and port operations. With a location of 3,260 kilometers of coastline along with 114 seaports, leaving a major advantages to develop ports. The closeness to the ceiling of the Asian area, leaving more chances to expand the area, thus decreasing the transportation costs. One of the weaknesses is lack of deep water ports, and as seen in Cái Mép Thị Vải and Cát Lái ports, lacking investment for years due to low technological advances already happening in Vietnam. The opportunities, let's see, since the downturn of 2019, Vietnam has seen an optimistic recovery, resulting in an upward trend of exchange good volume transported through Vietnam seaports in recent years, particularly 128 million tons in the first 3 months of 2019. There are two threats worth mentioning, that is traffic blockage and lack of capacity to upgrade infrastructure up to the demand, leaving Vietnam jeopardy behind its neighbor countries. And the next part is the competitive advantage. Mrs. Trang will represent it to you.
My name is Trang and I'm going to talk about a competitive advantage. It is processively productive for companies to use Cái Mép Thị Vải as a pickup bay instead of Cát Lái Port. The reason is that Cát Lái Port has shaped an ecosystem that including ports, procedures and fleet transit that is ideal for expenses and is synchronized. Also, the function of terminal port should be classified into connectivity and buffer to reduce both the wave on the Cát Lái Port and also will avoid traffic congestion. For the tariffs that a goods imported to Vietnam should be around 10%, 0% or 5%, which is no other value added tax. In recent years, there is a trend in product having lower tax, and this means that more goods will be inflow into Vietnam. Also, the trade war between the US and China means that more countries are searching Vietnam for offshoring, and this will help Vietnam to improve on its investment and ports. But it's also a challenge because Vietnam has to improve on the logistic performance and the infrastructure of the ports. So next, Thanh will talk about the recommendation.
Hi, my name is Thanh and I'm going to talk about the recommendation part. The first recommendation comes from Mr. Tuấn and Mr. Việt Anh, which is privatization. It is suggested that the Vietnam Marine Department should lower the ownership in the ports while at the same time give more authority for the local enterprises. As we know, private enterprises have enormous amount of capital resource which can help to develop the technology and therefore can improve the productivity of the port's operation. The other recommendations would come from us, which are improving the urban planning and strengthen the administrative reform. And through the research and findings, we found that urban planning has the most directly effects on the logistic industry in Vietnam, as traffic blockage is the major problem in the port operation. So we think that the government should improve the traffic, the road system and the port management. However, it will require a lot of money for the government to improve the construction and the development of the roadway system nationally, which is about 60 billion US dollar, and still it is the challenge of Vietnam government. And that's it of our presentation of Global Trade Plus. Thank you for listening.